Welcome to spoiler season for Echoes of Eternity Alpha Clash. Coming at you, baby. We got a pretty awesome spoiler here, and I'm going to be honest, it's one of my favorites because this is one that's really close to home for me. Here's some of the box art and some of the art for the set. We're going to have some new contenders, some new introductions. This is part of the Cosmic block. If you don't know anything about Alpha Clash, it is a comic book TCG. And as the TCG new sets come out for the game, they also are launching comics side by side with it. So every new set's going to come with new comics. This is going to be the Cosmic block, which I believe is thousands of years in the past, tens of thousands of years in the past, before current day events in the novel. One really cool note, set 6 is going to be one of the first draftable boxes that Alpha Clash is coming out with. And they have a really cool tournament structure coming up for their Pro Tour, or for the ClashCon coming up in Nashville, where it's going to be 4 rounds of constructed, and then I believe 3 or 4 rounds of draft to decide who is the ultimate contender in the Alpha Clash universe. A couple of cards I want to introduce as a teaser before we get to the spoiler are a couple of cards that are going to be interesting. First, on this left, Godslayer Javelin. I want to really emphasize this is a weapon. That is going to be important for my reveal because this is a weapon. It's also from the tournament, or the packs from the Spoils, which is the PvE version of the game. So they had like a little mini set in the Spoils of the Forgotten where, 2 or 3 or 4 people can team up to take on an autopiloted boss, which is really, really fun. And also going to be an event at the next tournament coming up in October. And then they also have tournament cards. Hunger of the Void is the tournament card for ClashCon. And one thing I really want to point out with this is it is a weapon. I promise this is going to be relevant. Please pay attention. So, a couple of cool cards I want to go over really quickly again before I get to the spoiler. You'll notice a key word with all of these. I'm going to point it out now. We have Trigger Victory. Trigger Victory, Trigger Victory, Trigger Victory. So a lot of the cards and a lot of my spoiler cards are going to revolve around the keyword Trigger Victory. If you are not aware of what Trigger Victory is, it is when your card clashes with another Clash card and defeats that card and lives. So they need to clash. Your card needs to kill that card and still live. That is what Trigger Victory means. Now, the reason that is really cool, again, is because of our spoiler card. But before we get there, I have one more thing. When I got into Alpha Clash, I started playing as Conquest. I really loved the idea of being able to battle other Clash cards. I get it. Some of you guys out there are control people. You like to send to oblivion or get rid of them in the primary phase. But I like to get in there, get dirty, and battle and bust people up and smash into them and stay alive. That's my playstyle, and that's what I really like to do. Again, keywords: Trigger Victory, Conquest, Trigger Victory, Trigger Victory, Trigger Victory. And I want to go over this card, Victory Peak. This is a Clash Ground, which is a status effect that affects the entire board. It says Clash cards get Trigger Victory, your contender gains 1 health. I want to point this out because the spoiler card is Collection of Champions. This is a 2-cost, 2-white pip relic accessory. It is a common, and I want to point out that it's 2-white pip, which goes really in theme with our Conquest deck. And also pretty in theme with, I believe, the current 65 weapons that you can have in the game. This is exclusive, which means you can only have 1 on the field at a time. And this card reads, whenever you resolve a Trigger Victory effect, you may engage this card. If you do, ready target card with a weapon attached. Now, I'm not going to go into too much crazy theories here, but this is an awesome feature, and I want to point out a few things. Whenever you resolve a Trigger Victory effect, that is just an effect that can come from a Clash Ground, That can come from a Clash card. That can also come from a Clash buff, trigger victory if you control less cards. So this can come from many, many places. And when that happens, you may engage this card, and if you do, ready target Clash card, or ready target card with a weapon attached. I actually messed that up there. Ready target card with a weapon attached. Card, not Clash card, card. What that means is your contender, who you've put all of these basic actions and buffing actions into, can be readied if he has a weapon, a contender weapon attached. Your Clash cards can also be ready if they have weapons attached. Hunger of the Void, Godslayer Javelin, your Wars, your Torques, some of your Clash cards. So guys, I'm really excited to explore the possibilities of this card. I think it is really, really cool. It has a lot of functionality with trigger victory and weapons. I do think it's probably going to be solely in a relatively mono white deck and or duo color deck, just because 2 white, 2 pips can be tough if you're splashing more than 2 colors. Last thing I want to mention, this doesn't have to be on the board for a turn to do its effect. If you know you can line up a trigger victory for that turn, you can play this out and immediately get the effect after a trigger victory on that turn. But make sure that it is on the board before you get the trigger victory effect. Thank you so much for watching. Don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's give a shout out to this artwork. I love the theme and the way that the direction that this company and this business is going with the artwork and the style and the gameplay. Love it. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. I'm out.